Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He hath loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on.
My name is Amanda Joan Quimper. I've had prophetic dreams, angelic encounters, revelations, and a vision from God to bring awareness to modern moral issues. I want to share my creative arts, poetry, experiences, and stories with you. God is abundantly above and beyond what we could have asked or even imagined. And the most important truth that exists is love.
That might help. Hi, everyone.
How's it going?
Good. I'm Amanda Joan of Hart. I go by. I'm the creator of AwakenAndUnite.com. I'm here with Rob from Typical Skeptic Podcast. We are going to share some videos today on what's going on with the data centers, the mega sites that they're trying to bum rush into our states and counties and cities. And we got to wake up to what's going on and stand up to this stuff because it's destroying our environment. It raises your electric and utilities and your water 75 to 80% or more. This is serious stuff that's going on. They're trying to take agricultural land and turn it into industrial, and commissioners are involved, and they're trying to bum rush this into the townships and stuff. So we gotta wake up to what's going on here, guys. Yeah, so I got a couple of videos today. I have highlights from our new Russia Township. It's our zoning commission hearing that we had. And we have even a 10-year-old boy in here sharing his heart, pouring his heart out, and begging the zoning commission to not rezone their agricultural land into industrial and ruin the farmland there. So yeah, you got anything to say, Rob?
I don't know much about this. It's going to be interesting for sure, Yeah, so, I'm glad you're fighting against it, though. I mean, that's really, yeah.
That's all we could do, really. All right, so you want me to, which one do we want to play first? The highlights from the hearing, like a 12-minute video, and you're going to find some serious stuff's going on. So There'll be a lady in here revealing that Sears Farm, it sounds like it's a farm. These are, they're called Sears Farm, and they're coming in and they're buying up all the farmland to turn into these data mega sites and mega centers.
Do you think that's related to China at all?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. She didn't say China in here, but she figured out what was going on and how they're connected in this whole thing. So there's, I'm sure, different farm names that sound like a farm, and they go up and they buy your farmland up, and yeah, they sell it to the data center. So
Wow.
there's some other people that in this highlights that we're going to share that one man discovered that some of the people involved that are trying to push this through here in my county were involved in a scandal 5 years ago that it was called the first energy scandal. So they were raising people's electric bills to get money to pay off, money that they had spent or something. I didn't dig too much into that, but he was going to the FBI, he says. So this is crazy stuff, crazy times we're in.
Wow.
And then somebody just in the comments said 5 to 6G is already up and running. Trump signed the warp speed and 5 to 6G Act into law. At the same time, Dr. Edward Group was there, but both Trump and Elon wouldn't have 5 to 6G near their homes. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. Yeah, the 6G is terahertz. It's like 100 times harder than gigahertz. So it's like going from heroin to fentanyl. You know what I mean? And you're going to be bouncing frequencies off of us. We become the walking cell towers. You don't need routers anymore in your homes, and you're just going to be bounced frequencies off of. This is bio warfare on humanity.
Wait, we wouldn't even need routers in our houses anymore?
No.
Wow.
So they're just going to bounce frequencies off of us.
No,
That's total targeted individual style. That's Ray Foley from PAX International, People Against Covert Torture and Surveillance. She's literally a walking cell tower. You can see she admits, like, basically a walking cell tower.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so now we're all becoming targeted individuals if this is going on.
Yeah.
So once they can map your brain, then they can do whatever they want. They can put a murderer's brain map into your brain, and then you're acting like a murderer.
Yeah.
They can move your limbs. They can do all kinds of things. Put voices in your head. Put thoughts. Simulate dreams.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some serious shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
Guys, I just want to tell people, like, if I'm not over there today, it's because I'm still not feeling good. I'm still fighting like a flu. It was weird, guys. I'll just tell you guys real quick for everybody that watched this. Like, I was fine, and then I don't know. I was feeling like a little bit sick the day after my birthday or something like that, and then I felt like a little bit better, and now I'm feeling like crappy again. So but I'm okay though. I'm here. So yeah. That's kind of why I'm kind of like. Yeah, but sorry. Go ahead, Amanda. I'm ready. Like
try like 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C every 2 to 4 hours, and sometimes that'll kick a cold or flu out real quick within a day. So
I got this stuff. I'm airborne emergency. Yep. It's like vitamin C stuff. I'm going to take some of it now.
So 2,000 milligrams every like 2 to 4 hours, and you should be good by the end of the day.
Wow.
Or by tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have been sick throughout Christmas and all that. It's been insane. All right, so I'm going to pull us off the stage or pull us to the side here. Sorry, I'm going to add this to the stage. Okay, there you go. Should we stay on screen, you think?
Yeah, we can stay on screen.
Okay. What the heck? Why isn't this? Hold on. Got it. A new one. Okay. So here is my YouTube channel, awakenandunite.com. So here's the videos right here. So you can go to that, or you can go to my Rumble channel, awakeningunite.com, and you can watch all these videos or share them from here or there. So I'm going to play this one. You hear that okay?
Yeah, that's good. Oh, there's what's his name? Isn't that dude that comes on the show? Your friend, right?
You're trying to force something down our throats that we don't want.
My biggest concern is that we don't know what it will be. We were just told at Monday's meeting that there is no end user. It could be one user or multiple. How can this township rezone 583 acres or now up to?
What did you say?
In the beginning picture, there was your friend was in the front. It comes on the show with us. I saw your friend was there. What's his name? I can't remember his name. Yeah, Dave Rowe. Yeah.
Right. So this is the zoning. These are highlights. They're doing 622 acres of farmland and changing it, trying to rezone it into industrial for mega site / data center. Okay.
Wow.
So this is the hearing. Okay.
You're trying to force something down our throats that we don't want.
My biggest concern is that we don't know what it will be. We were just told at Monday's meeting that there is no end user. It could be one user or multiple. How can this township rezone 583 acres or now up to 622, as we heard tonight, with no idea what will be done to it?
Micron was supposed to come here according to the commissioners, and Micron instead went to Clay, New York. And when they went to Clay, New York, the first thing they did was rezone, and they did use eminent domain to move the residents that were there. That could have come here.
It is enterprise zone, but it is crosshatched. It is also farmland preservation.
You're being asked to change hundreds of acres with no actual plan in place on farmland that is currently producing crops and has been for decades. This is not vacant, unused land. It is thriving agriculture that needs to remain as is. If this zoning board approves or recommends a request to rezone these parcels from agricultural residential to industrial, especially with no plan in place, they are not working for the people of this township.
Sarah's Farms, who is being backed by Liberty, is the one who owns those properties. Sarah's Farms has been purchased by Wisdom Tree. Wisdom Tree is the United States' leading actionable organization for data centers and data farms and microchip manufacturing in the United States. Their number one purview is to go after prime farmland within the United States because, especially in Ohio, we are a cold weather state, so we are good for cooling, and we have lots and lots of water and underground aquifers. All of this is going to lead to widespread massive pollution that we will not be able to contain, maintain, or endure within the next 20 years. It also leads to water usage that likely could lead to, across the United States, a war for water resources within the next 25 to 50 years. We have defense issues here. One is that any type of data center or large manufacturing center takes up large amounts of electricity on a national security grid and an electrical grid that we cannot maintain right now as it is. Even our president has said is our number one national security risk. So how does that reflect what we're facing? These areas want to come in, these big corporations want to come in and they want to take prime farmland, and you guys keep on acting like it is fallow field. It is not. It is prime developed farmland. It's taken generations to develop it, to not just be prime farmland, but farmland that overproduces. And you guys like to sit here and act like we are not intelligent by saying, well, it's just 1%. Well, 1% of Lorraine County adds up, along with the other counties that we're looking at in Ohio, and the other counties that we're looking at in Pennsylvania, and in Illinois, and in Indiana, and all the other states that are facing the exact same fight we are fighting right now. And all of that is going to diminish and destroy our food base in a political environment that is placing tariffs on us, that literally wants to keep us from being able to feed ourselves. It is government control. So I ask you now, as my final 30 seconds, how much of a political career you guys want? Because I guarantee if you vote for this, every person in this room is going to make sure that you do not work again in the political system.
And the one thing that kind of struck me was a little odd is that a lot of folks that got up and spoke had some connective tissue to the first energy scandal of House Bill 6 of several years back. And I started seeing things over and over because I started seeing a pattern. Two of the speakers from Team NEO and from County Development, the law firm that's here today, the law firm that was here the other time, all of them are connected to First Energy.
That's correct.
So being, and there's a lot of money at stake, so it makes sense that there may be, concerns for these citizens and maybe not all this is on the up and up. So today, I actually had a luncheon with somebody who used to be in the county. I'm not going to say who they are or what their role was, but it was revelatory to the point where I intend to go to the FBI later this week and discuss with them the things that I learned.
The sewer system associated with this county's plan will sign a death warrant of agricultural in western Lorain County, giving developers free rein to come and develop acre after acre of precious farmland. There's 600 acres at stake here. If the sewer goes through, there's thousands of acres at stake. There are many family farms in the surrounding area. There are multi-generational operations. Many farms in the area are 6- and 7th-generation farms that put 7 lifetimes worth of hard work and sacrifice into the land.
The Lorain County Farm Bureau is committed to protecting productive farmland, supporting responsible land use decisions, and ensuring a strong future for agriculture in our region.
Industry development is not good future for me or any kid, because it is destroying farmland and can be pollution and health issues. Rezoning farmland is a loss of food for the future. Technology is changing every day, but we need the farmland that will never change. It's like a snowball. When the first 1% is gone, another 1% is gone.
I have seen more development in farmland across this country and more in the state of Ohio than I have ever seen, that I ever thought I'd ever imagined. I never thought I would see the day that I'd see our farms destroyed. We're so involved in wanting to take this land. I'm watching farms being shut down, cattle, dairy shut down because of EPA regulations. We got more regulations than we need right now. We've got money being offered to us, and I take that money and put it to some good use. Put it into the farmers' hands. If the state's got money to give and the development, put it where it needs to be.
So now I think there's a fight against agriculture versus technology. So I speak to you, board, I beg of you to listen to what we're saying. Collectively, we don't want this. It's not good.
First of all, I sort of want to know the guy from Liberty raised his hand and took that oath that everyone else took. Because I have the 401 map on my phone, and he clearly indicates the land north of Russia Road is an agricultural preservation area. Another myth I want to dispel about this enterprise zone. This enterprise zone isn't unique to this area or this site. The enterprise zone stretches from here all the way up to Lake Erie. It's a zone that was established by the county and the state in 1994. This isn't something special that only is right here on this site. So just so everyone knows that. I also want to do one better. I want everyone to stand up that is against this mega site. Stand up so we can show these people clearly who is for this and who's against this. As you can see, mine's hall full of people. I don't see anyone sitting down. So.
We invite the people to join us in restoring self-governance, promoting truth and transparency, and protecting our communities from government or corporate overreach. abuse of power, and harm to our land, air, and water. The harms of data and or mega centers include the harms of 5G gigahertz technology, which is now expanding into 6G terahertz, which is 100 times more powerful than 5G. This direction is turning humanity into walking receivers and transmitters of electromagnetic frequencies, which is bio-warfare on humanity. This is lethal. The street lights are lethal. They make you blind. The traffic lights are 5G as well. They track and trace your face. They take biometric data from you like China. Please research the term targeted individuals, because these people are emitting high levels of EMS with the nanotechnology already in their bodies acquired through food, air, and water. As shown in my documentaries at awakenandunite.com.
Engineers have already started making their drawings and doing their task and trying to prepare it, even though they tell you, oh, we don't know what's going on. So make sure you stay on them for transparency. That's the main thing. Attend the commissioner meetings on Tuesday and Friday. If you can't, watch them on TV.
The EPA is moving to approve a new permit next week that would allow wastewater from nearly 200 data centers to be discharged into Ohio's waterways across the entire state. This is treason and unconstitutional. Ohio Congress is pushing H.R. 2289, a bill that would allow 5G antennas on almost any structure, even schools, learning centers, and housing developments. This all must stop. Our land, wildlife, and communities are under attack. The people deserve truth and protection. Wake up, rise up, and hold them accountable.
If this is accepted and this goes through, you have failed us.
I love the fact that you people are my neighbors, and we're all in this fight together. And let me remind you, all of you people here are public servants. We don't have to come up to you and say, oh, please, or we're begging you to. We are your bosses. Listen to us.
If you decide to rezone this land from agricultural to industrial, it can never go back to farmland ever again. We don't need more industry. We need fresh food sources from farmland. The people from Team NEO and county officials are trying to rob me of my future by destroying farmland. I am begging the zoning board and the trustees to please say no to the rezoning applications, and yes to keeping Lorraine County rural. Saying no to the rezoning of the farmland will be saying yes to future farmers like me. Your decision directly impacts my future way of life.
He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall never call retreat.
Man, that's great that all those people are standing up. That is amazing.
Yeah.
And you have kids in there. So did they postpone the hearing then, or what happened?
Yeah, so a bunch of people on the zoning commission that day said they needed more time to think after everybody voiced their opinion, and they had a lot to learn. They learned a lot and needed to go through their information. And then they wanted to vote on the next hearing. They wanted another hearing date to vote. And then the application was then canceled, and then they added a parcel to it and redid a new application, and now there's a whole new hearing. So we're gonna have to go through this all again and put our stuff, because when you do a hearing, you're at a public hearing. So it goes on the record, whatever you're saying. So the stuff that they need to look into. And if they go ahead and do it, at least you put it on the record that this is this and this and this is going on, and this ain't right, that ain't right, whatever. So, yeah, we're doing another hearing. The next hearing is February 10th, and I'm gonna try to film the whole thing again. But yeah, so.
I love the fact that they had a kid in there speaking. It's like the kid even understands that, like, they don't want their and like, here's the question I have: how can they just take people's farms away from them and rezone them? Like, isn't that like absolute, like, beyond treason? Like, that's like these are established farms in the area. Like, how could they just like decommission those and like put something else there?
I know. A farmer asked them, "What am I supposed to do? The commissioners were like, "Well, you're just gonna have to move." He's like, "How am I supposed to move? 2 barns, a house, and whatever, equipment and all this stuff." And so that's nice. You just tell me to move. Like, that's really nice.
That is really messed up. Like, yeah.
It's sad. It's really sad. Yeah, really sad. And the water, the sewer line they have to tear down a $17 million, some kind of water unit that they already had put up. So all that money is going to go to waste, and they're going to build a whole new sewer line.
Yeah.
And they already have plans. They said they had no plans. They had nothing. The one guy went in, and he talks on this next video, one of the next videos that I'm going to play. But he's like, "You said you didn't have any plans." He's like, I did a Freedom of Information Act. It's called FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, on them to get the information. Yeah, they have blueprints of the sewer line. They have all kinds of plans, to tell us that they don't have any plans. On top of it, the commissioners had an NDA with the company that was coming in. They wouldn't tell us what company was even coming. Who is it? Is it Amazon, Meta, who? And they wouldn't tell us. That's treason within itself. That's zero transparency. Where's the transparency? You're supposed to be our public servants.
Yeah,
there's no
exactly.
Transparency.
Yeah, it's not their job to enforce laws. It's their job to act on behalf of the people for what the people want. That's what they need to get in their heads. Like, they need to be doing what the people want. That's what the job of a public servant is. It's not to implement unjust and corrupt laws that the government wants, or some outside source, whether it's, coming from China or wherever else, and a lot of times I feel like a lot of this stuff is coming from China because, when you look into who's controlling a lot of this shit, I mean, they're all tied in together at the top, anyway, like, we act like these people are our enemies, but the real enemies are the billionaires, and the people that are in charge, because, like, they don't give 2 fucks about us, they I don't know. Sorry, I can go on a tangent, but yeah, like, hi Jennifer, good to see you. I'm glad Jennifer's in the audience. Everybody's here, so I'm ready. Yeah, we can watch. I'm ready for the next one. Or did you want to comment some more? Or
Yeah, well, I just saw in the comments, it's awesome, Amanda. It's happening to me so badly. I feel a frequency fence around my throat to speak. Your voice is appreciated so much. Yeah, I've been having throat stuff going on too myself. I don't know if it's attack or what, or what's going on there. There is some seals on a spiritual level that are being released in our necks as well, but so they're coming off, which is good. But there's definitely some stuff going on in the throat. Ashliana Dean's book even talks about that. There's going to be some stuff in the thyroid area and the throat that's going on a spiritual level as well. So hopefully it's a good thing that we're having these throat issues. But yeah,
I feel one thing I take to help with that is C iodine. It's supposed to help with your thyroid. As a matter of fact, I got to take some today. C iodine. It's supposed to help with, like, thyroid and stuff. Like, I take a bunch of supplements, like, I really do. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah. I mean, but I got to go to the bathroom real quick too. Like, I can go. You want to keep going through the chat here real quick, or like? I just got to take a leak. Like,
Yeah, you want, go ahead.
all right, I'll be right back. Wait.
Yeah. Somebody said my throat chakra is better. That's good. If you have any advice for the rest of us, please share. It's yeah, pretty wild. So the next two videos I'm going to share are ones from the commissioners meeting, and that one kind of revealed some other stuff going on in our county that I wasn't aware of. So just going to the commissioners meetings in your county will reveal a lot, and talking to people that are there standing up and finding out what it exactly is going on is very important right now, because they got a lot of plans. And also right now they're trying to turn our county into urban instead of rural. And I guess you lose a lot of rights that way. So that's really sad. They just more power grabs when they can turn it into urban. Then, you know, it becomes, you know, about business, about money, about, you know, not about the people, and the people lose local control by doing that. So, yeah, that's another thing. And they're trying to act like, oh, it's a good thing turning your county from rural to urban is a good thing, because they're going to get more money from the state and more HUD money and stuff for housing and whatever. So it's really
Wait, they're trying to turn urban or rural housing into urban developments.
They're trying to turn our whole county into urban instead of rural. So that once you get to 20,000 people, you can turn your county into urban, which that makes the people lose rights on their land. That leaves room for more eminent domain. If you saw in that last video, they talked about eminent domain. If you have a deed for your house and a data center moves in and it says on your deed eminent domain, then they can take your house. They could just take your house.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Really, what people want for their houses is their allodial title, because then you really own your house. But yeah, with these deeds and stuff, a lot of people don't even own their own property. They could just take it from you if they use certain wording like eminent domain. It's really scary, man. Yeah. Pray for everything you consume was her advice for the throat stuff. We like ChatGPT, so we need data centers. Yeah, I'm not anti-technology. I'm anti putting technology where it's going to harm people, because you cannot live within 15. It's lethal to live within 15 minutes from one of these data centers. The air pollution, the noise pollution. People are having to go and sleep in their basements because of the noise pollution. It makes this hum that kids like can't sleep. It causes anxiety and restlessness and headaches and all kinds of fatigue and stuff. So people are having to, I've seen whole city, like whole housing developments in other states, that the whole housing development, everybody just got up and left because they couldn't live by these things. Brand new, beautiful houses just left empty. It's insane.
Wow.
It's really sad. Okay, so I'm gonna put this back on and we'll play. You want to play the commissioners meeting is about 27 minutes and the other one's 16 minutes. Which one you want to, the other EPA?
Whatever you think is good next, or yeah, whatever you.
We'll play the EPA first. And so this one. Okay, so this EPA video is, and watch till the end. It's really, I added, well, no, I think that's the other one. Sorry, that's the commissioner's one. This one is about the EPA. So the EPA is now trying to create a permit that would allow all of the nearly 200 data centers, allow all of their wastewater from the data centers to be dumped into all of Ohio's waterways.
Why are all these data centers creating so much water waste? What are they doing? Like, what are they?
Every time you use ChatGPT, you're using a 1/10 of a gallon of water. Okay. Every question you ask.
That's weird.
So please try not to use ChatGPT. Go back to I don't want to say Google. Go back to your Brave app and use the Brave app instead of Google, and you use that to find your information. If you really have to use ChatGPT for like a document or something, or rewriting something, use it. But I would say it's really horrible for the environment. So 1/10 of a gallon of water every question you ask. So it's really not cool. And so 55 million gallons a day of water. That's over a whole city and some, I don't know how many cities. It's over a whole city of water in one day. And that's just the minimum, 55 million gallons a day of water. So, and it's dumping back into the water PFAs. So when it comes out of the data centers, it's filled with PFAs that cause cancer. So they're putting a bunch of cancer-causing agents into all of Ohio's waterways with this new permit they're trying to bum rush in as we're fighting these data centers. This is going on too. So I went to the EPA hearing, and this is the hearing, and I got some highlights from the hearing. It's not the whole hearing, but I'm showing you some highlights of what people had to say and their points and everything that needed to be brought up. Okay, somebody said, I just started Brita this year. I would use reverse osmosis. Brita does not take out fluoride out of your water. I'd look for a better water pitcher, which there is one that supposedly takes out the fluoride, but I don't know. I don't know if it really works like it's supposed to. But reverse osmosis or spring water, or don't drink it, in my opinion. Even the bottle of water has thousands of microplastics in it that will ruin your capillaries and your heart and stuff, and just destroy your heart with these microplastics. So try not to drink bottled water. Go get it from a spring. Maybe use like a harder plastic jug and fill like a 5-gallon jug up at a spring and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do we avoid using plastic? You know what I mean? It's almost impossible.
Right. Use the harder plastic if you're going to drink it out of a bottle like that. So like I said, get a 5-gallon jug, because those ones are hard and they're made of a plastic mold. Now these little thin, crunchy plastic bottles, they're really thin. That leaches into the water. Those ones are the worst.
Wow, fuck, man.
So those are liquid poured plastic.
Yeah, Collective Awakening, we're really familiar with Sabrina Wallace here. Like I have on Karen McDonald, and Karen's friends with Sabrina Wallace. Like I'm pretty aware with what Sabrina's doing, and she's got really good information. But what we're doing today is we're presenting information about these data centers, But we'll get to that probably at the end for sure. We can touch on that. But we want to definitely get this information out about the data centers and what Amanda's been doing. So, but we'll definitely have time for questions, or maybe we can even do some call-ins at the end. If you want to call in, you can call in. I'll fire up the phone lines and you guys can call in. How's that sound? If you guys want to, we can do something like that, Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. All right. I'm going to play this now. Yeah.
I'm going to fire up the phone lines while you're, or I'm going to please pull it up while you're, sure. that way we can, at the end, we can take calls or whatever. Or I'll wait because it burns up minutes. So I'll wait until we're ready to do that.
All right. Yeah. We have one more video after this. If you guys want me to go through that video of the commissioners meeting and find out other things that are going on in your counties, good to know. Okay.
Thank you for taking the time to attend this hearing before Ohio EPA. person regarding
Oh,
a
it
draft
froze him.
National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit that may provide coverage to data centers in the state of Ohio. The NPDES General Permit for Discharges in Data Center Facilities, permit number OHD000001, is a first-time issuance, and it would cover data center facility operations that propose to discharge the waters of the state. Both wastewater and stormwater from the data center facility are proposed for coverage with this permit. All interested people are entitled to attend and be represented and to present comments concerning the general draft permit or draft general permit. All relevant comments received as part of the official record will be considered by the Director of Ohio EPA before a final decision is made regarding this permit. To be included in the official record, written comments must be received by Ohio EPA by the close of business, 5 p.m., January 16, 2025. These comments can be submitted today or entered into the online comment portal at ohioepa.commentinput.com.
It has been determined that a lowering of water quality of various waters of the state associated with granting coverage under this permit is necessary to accommodate important social and economic development in the state of Ohio. I have to call bullshit. I'm sorry. That is total bull. I work for the federal government. We had to take an oath. Ohio EPA should have had to take an oath. And it should be to the people and the environment of the state of Ohio. This, when I read this, just as a common person off the street, this says they're allowed to pollute the water. Why would the Environmental Protection Agency tell them they're allowed to pollute the water? There are plenty of ways that they can handle this, using filtration, putting in wetlands. There's plenty of things that they can do so that they don't have to pollute our waterways. Also, in your 34-page document, it says like they can't dump into the lakes and stuff like that, but you don't cover a lot of other things. You don't cover canals. The state of Ohio is full of canals. Canals are extensions of the lakes. You don't cover them.
There's no mention of limiting the forever chemicals, and there's no requirement for baseline tests in these, whether it's the sanitary sewer system, the wastewater plants. There's no baseline to see how much our water has been degraded.
We already have 2 rivers in our state that's declared by the EPA the most polluted in the nation, the Ohio and the Cuyahoga. The rivers where I come from, around the Little Miami, the Great Miami River, has a lot of E. coli problems in them already. And we're going to add more water from a data system that increases that water flow into our rivers, which are our primary drinking sources. We're going to pollute them even further. I was reading through your part 1, section C2O, benzene, chloroform, hexane, styrene, toluene, vinyl chloride, xylenes. How do these chemicals help our aquatic life and our public drinking water sources? Those chemicals all will kill you. They're harmful to not only me, you, all of y'all, they're harmful to our entire ecosystem.
In 1960, Lake Erie was labeled dead due to industrial and agricultural pollution. When I was 11 years old in 2013, my community of about 400,000 people in Toledo were without fresh water for several days due to harmful algae blooms in Lake Erie. It was a scary and confusing time for everyone, especially a child, but to come into adulthood to realize those who are supposed to protect our environment are willing to sacrifice clean water for the economic growth of big data is horrifying. Amidst this technological revolution of the 21st century, it is your responsibility as the EPA to protect our environment and the communities from the consequences of repeating past atrocities. This general wastewater permit for data centers in Ohio will be catastrophic and will likely worsen the quality of life for our most vulnerable communities. There is no mention of PFAs in this permit, despite forever chemicals being a common additive in data centers' cooling systems. There is no requirement for baseline measurements to determine how these data centers will impact water quality. There's also no mention of concentration limits, which is prudent given data centers evaporate 80% of water source, leaving heavily concentrated pollutants in the water discharge. Despite the EPA's baseless claim that lowering water quality is necessary for social and economic development, There is no attention to social and economic issues around data centers' water sourcing or contaminants in water discharges, nor an analysis of alternatives. Passing this general wastewater permit will be catastrophic for Ohioans and future generations of this land we occupy, and it will bring great shame to the legacy of this agency.
Another concern is at the bottom of the first page, section 2, anti-degradation. If the facilities are not available or acceptable in the area, the Ohio EPA would let discharge and site-specific choices be driven by the economics, operation, and discharge drive the alternative selection. What are the alternative selections? And will they be treated prior to discharge?
I will mention also some specifics. Chemical additives mentioned before and PFAS chemicals are not mentioned in the general permit. Data centers use a multiplicity of these chemicals. PFAS is in the bloodstream of regulators as well as the rest of us, and in our children and grandchildren, particularly getting concentrated in younger generations. They can impact the function of most parts of the body, even affecting the overall intelligence of individuals in society. Change one molecule in a PFAS chemical, and it is a brand new chemical, and therefore already unregulated. This Ohio EPA draft permit would allow data center pollutant discharge to be combined with stormwater and bypass wastewater treatment plants. General permits are used to cover discharges that would have a minimal effect. Data center impacts will not be minimal. Ohio's already lacks environmental regulations, including T-norm discharges. Data centers, with all this, data centers will be flocking to our state, just as fracking and injection wells are turning Ohio into a pincushion. We are poisoning ourselves in this process, and no one escapes.
But section L talks about the reporting, which kind of makes me a little cautious because you guys say like analysis of pollutants that are not listed are not going to be reported. So I guess my biggest concern with that is like for the pollutants that are not listed and not included in this permit, if a data center were to have other pollutants, what are we doing about that? That really concerns me. I also think section T, duty to mitigate. So that's what a lot of my job is mitigation, finding mitigation credits. I think there needs to be more outline detail or some sort of just more regulation on that, because right now you guys have the wording, shall take all reasonable steps to minimize or prevent any discharge in violation of the permit, reasonable likelihood to affect human health or the environment. So that's a red flag to me, because that's what a lot of my job is, you know, you have really big companies, right, like Google or whatever, that can just pay that off or get mitigation somewhere else. And that's very concerning to me. So
you, the members of the panel, is considering allowing these foreign corporations to shortcut this expense, to allow unlimited water with no concern to the needs of the public is unconscionable and disrespecting of the public trust.
I just have two questions that I wanted to read into the record to get responses from EPA on. The first one is whether or not any data centers currently hold individual NPDES permit and how more information about how this is currently being regulated, as we have over 217 data centers in Ohio currently. And the second question is just how did OEPA determine that a general permit is necessary in this instance if it has been regulated via individual NPDES permits to this point? More information about how OEPA made that determination would be appreciated.
So we've been told today that if we have concerns about data centers, we can consult the PUCO or the Ohio Department of Health or the Ohio Department of Natural Resources or the Ohio Legislature. So we have all these choices of which to do in order to stop these things from coming into our community. So indeed, we need a 90-day extension period. Thank you for a short one, but we need a much longer one. Because there are, as you can see, there are so many comments here today.
And of course, there's some things that are being discharged that we have not had discharged into our water. You know, some of the solvents, some of the stuff that they are using, it's going across wheels or whatnot that need to be lubricated. And I know that with a wastewater treatment plant, it can't treat all of those things. Oils are kind of tough. You've got the PFAS, they talk about that, microplastics. I'm really concerned about that being released, and they've been very careful, and they are treating that. And the final step is treating is with chlorine. Okay, and that in the heat of the water as well, that is coming out.
As members of this panel, it is your duty to uphold your oath of office to protect the people of the state of Ohio. This includes all aspects of pollution by these foreign corporations such as EMF, water, noise, light, harmful effects, radiation, etc.
I stand before you today as a voice for the American people and a defender of sacred rights endowed to us by our Creator, the right to clean land, pure air, and safe water. It is both my right and my duty to oppose the release of PFAs, known cancer-causing agents, and other toxic chemicals into Ohio's waterways, whether from data centers or any other source that brings harm to the people. These substances threaten the essential resources that sustain all of life. Today, I deliver a special deposit, a formal cease and desist notice to the EPA and all involved parties. Any action that harms our environment is a violation of the public trust and a disregard for the sacred duty to protect life. This is about people. This is not a matter of opinion. This is a matter of conscience. It is my constitutional responsibility to act. I ask you, with all sincerity, to act with integrity for our children, for our communities, for the future of Ohio and America. Thank you, and I pray you to choose to honor the will of the American people with courage, compassion, and integrity.
Thank you. I will take that for the record.
Our job is to provide oversight to you, this is this panel, the men and women of this panel, to be held accountable for your behavior under your oaths of office to the United States Constitution, circa 1791, and the Ohio State Constitution, circa 1851. You, men and women, are the gatekeepers, fiduciaries of our safety from major foreign corporations whose only concern is profit.
It's ridiculous to give these organizations a shortcut to being passed when there's so many variances in the many different data centers that already exist in the state, 215 and counting with more. There's already many cases of a lot of our waterways being polluted.
You, the members of the EPA, are considering allowing this to happen because you work for a private corporation called the State of Ohio, which has more regards for the welfare of corporations than that of the people of the state. Their record stands. You are now on notice in your personal, private capacity as a man and a woman.
This general permit is just blank. No limit on the size, no limit on, how much or how much water they're going to use. I guess there is a little bit of the, with the eligibility restrictions about how much, if it's more than 2 million gallons a day, which is a lot. It doesn't, it's not eligible for this general permit. However, that still leaves a lot, under the umbrella that, it's not very specific at all to our communities.
You have no immunity of office when you violate your oath of office. When you guys violate your oath of office and cause a harm, you void out your immunity under your oath of office or under your office that you're holding.
I mean, if y'all really consider an EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, there's nothing in these reports about safety for the Ohioans that live here. If you're really concerned about our safety, safety comes first, not economic values that the data centers are going to promise us, because I can tell you our lives are more important than the data center.
He has Okay, so that was that one. Yeah, pretty scary. They violated the people, someone said. These concerns should be raised on mainstream platforms. Yes, they should be. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, beyond scary. Okay, you want me to play the other one now, or you?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna do this last one. All right. So this one is the one at the commissioners meeting. Make sure I would watch. Make sure you don't just listen, but at the end, when the people quit talking, you're gonna see some of the kids came in from the schools, and we're making a calendar and it was all about the environment and saving Earth. And so I was at this meeting with that. So I used some of their pictures and show the kids and what they made this beautiful calendar and stuff. So check it out. All right. I'm here obviously to protest the data centers and or mega sites. It's terrible for the environment. I'm so grateful that the children came here today to remind us that our future is very important right now, and we need to stand up to doing what's right for our children and our children's children.
Hi, I'm Sam Mangus. I am I don't think it's good that the mega site is going to be on farmland that could be used for generations. When I'm the future and I don't want this here. And I don't think it's good for any future farmer. And it's going to cause pollution and health problems. And this isn't good. And I talked to the state representative and she's not getting any information. We're not getting any information. So, yeah. Thank you.
My statement is in regard to the rezoning of Lorraine County, specifically New Russia Township. I think it's imperative to save as much farmland as we can. The emphasis on farmland in Ohio is important, as our state is one of the most agricultural states in the nation, and yet big corporations want to cement over our farms in lieu of temporary tech zones that will have a short lifespan, most likely.
It is currently 583 acres that is being up for rezoning. Inside the airport boundary of the county is 315 acres that could be sold for a total of 900. We know that the legal definition of a megasite is 1,000 acres, and yet the term 1,600 potential acres has been tossed around. So we'd like to know, where's the other acreage? Is it something that is being proposed for future development? Is it across the street from this New Russia Township? From Russia Road across from the airport? Where is the additional acreage coming from outside of the total 900 or the total 583 to be rezoned or potentially rezoned?
Get the copy of the application online. It says nothing about what it's going to be. It says nothing about what is coming. It's just strictly asking for a rezoning. We need to know what's going there.
Silicon Valley has the highest number of Superfund sites, and Ohio is now considered the next Silicon Heartland. And I'm questioning that because we're also one of the states with the highest level of prime farmland available. And the whole point of zoning is to limit what you can do with your land. And that's what we're talking about. Somebody wants to take off some of these limits. New Russia has a vision and a county has a vision, and I think they're not the same vision.
I made a couple public records requests. Some of the trustee people have said that they've been lied to. There indicating that they haven't been given information that's out there and available. And so in my public records request, I have all kinds of potential routes for sewers running to the west side of Lorraine and to Vermilion. So I don't know where the transparency is that you keep talking about. It's not here. So if I can get these, those citizens should have the same information. And I don't understand why they don't. And then we talk about the fact that they want to just kill one of the pump stations, $14 million. I don't understand where money's going to come from to try to fund these projects. And so, I don't know, Oxford's dictionary states that a crook is someone who is dishonest, a lawbreaker, a cheat, a swindler. I don't know if these words mean the same to you all. I don't know if the shoe fits. But my question would be, these trustees in the townships, they're not being told the truth. They're not getting the information, and they deserve to do that, especially to make decisions about the future and the economy of their land in the area. Because once it's gone, there's no turning it back into farmland, and you have to find land somewhere else to farm. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our emphasis should be on protecting the farms and feeding monies into farm subsidies to enhance community development in line with the heart of that community. So I think we should take the community into consideration deeply with that. Not dictated by tech billionaire who could care less how their tech park affects residents, or people that say, you know, we should just move if we don't want to live by that. The introduction of industrialization to that area destroys prime farmland and will pollute other parcels of farmland adjacent to the site. This is a significant risk to overall environment, not only soil and water pollution, but it's also, you know, including light and sound pollution in addition to the soil and water. All of this can be devastating, will be devastating to the biology of the area. In my research thus far, there has been no EPA review or assessment has been done, no archaeological assessment, no long-term impact assessment. Therefore, impacts to the region cannot be correctly determined. And especially when we do not know we don't even know what this will be built there if this land is rezoned in that area, taken from farmland into whatever, you know, to the industrial type you are suggesting. Also in regard to pollution, where's our health department on this? What action should the health department or have they taken, what should they take or have they taken to ensure how a mega site, or worse yet, a data center would impact our health of the community? This is all great concern to myself and to thousands of others. It deserves a much deeper research to determine what is best for the people and not simply good for economic development, as seems to be the focus.
Aside from massive resource consumption, pollution, the absence of any real jobs coming, and the destruction of the rural way of life in New Russia Township, I'm here on a much more basic issue. And as to follow up what Jimmy mentioned, and as to follow up what Jen mentioned, and follow up what others have mentioned, it is to demand transparency into the project scope and the project budget for the mega site. The $67 million loan from the Ohio Future Fund does not cover the cost to build the West Side Water Recovery Facility and the 12 miles of pipeline to connect it to the airport. Commissioner Moore told us that we would still need another $100 million at least to finish the project. Initiating this project without secured funding puts the county in a hostage situation. Either we have to pay the $100 million to complete the project, or we're on the hook to repay the $67.4 million to the Department of Development for an incomplete project. You have a fiduciary responsibility not to do this. I am here to request, and the residents of Lorain County have a right to receive three things. First of all, a copy of the complete application submitted by Team NEO or Jobs Ohio on behalf of the county. We deserve transparency into the project scope. Secondly is a copy of the award letter identifying use and repayment conditions. We deserve transparency into the project deliverables. And third, and most importantly, is a current copy of the master plan with the complete project budget. Where will the other $100 million come from? As Jimmy mentioned, are you going to ask from the taxpayers who just turned down $13 million last Tuesday? Or will you try to fund the $100 million through bonds in order to elude voter approval and voter awareness? We have a right to transparency in the actions taken by this office, and the mega site is no exception.
I was here on the 4th, and I gave you public notice at that moment. I now have a written notice. You will be receiving it by registered mail, and I have also copies to be given here. Transparency is a violation of oath of office when you don't grant it. And we will be holding you accountable by law for not providing full and complete and 100% transparency. Under constitutional law, you're not allowed to enter into NDAs. I don't care what the state of Ohio tells you you're allowed to do. The supreme law of the land is the Constitution, the federal Constitution. I explained that last time I was here, and now I'm going to present in writing. Thank you.
Clearwater. If Avon Lake doesn't get control of the board, there's no deal. If Avon Lake doesn't get paid their $15 million from Lurco, there's no deal. We're not going to sell the assets. $100 million, we're not going to sell the assets, and we're not going to lease them for $2 a year. We're not going to fund the working capital that is needed for it. That's going to be a year, which is in the current proposal. County's going to fund that working capital if they want to participate. You got to put something in the deal. You got nothing in the deal, and yet you want to become part of it. You got nothing. We got to bail out the county and the Eaton Place self-storage plant that's under EPA EDIC. You're getting a benefit. Lurco's getting a benefit. Avon Lake Regional Water getting nothing. And as a resident, I'm going to make sure we get a good deal. How about the west side? Vermilion is the worst plant ever. Avon Lake Regional Water is the gem and the best treatment plant in Northeast Ohio, and we're not giving it away. So it's going to cost $100 million to renovate Vermilion, 67 in the grant. You're 33 million short. Plus you got to fund 12 miles of sewer. How are you going to pay that? Bonds. How are you going to get the revenue stream to do that? How many people are going to go there and pay in tap-in fees to cover it? I haven't seen any pro forma. Financially, it's not feasible. It's not. Now, the residents in New Russia Township, if there's a rezoning, you have the right of referendum. You can put any rezoning on the ballot. I've done many of them. I have a group called Ohio Citizens for Honesty, Integrity, and Openness in Government. That's what we do. We give the people the right to vote. We're going to do it in Avon Lake on the power plant. Thank you.
I, a woman on the land in Lorraine County, Ohio, representing the men and women here today in protest of the proposed light industrial or industrial mega site and or data center. The Federation and all aforementioned doctrine. It is by this authority we address your overreach upon the subjects in our nation. A committee of safety's authority comes from the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights, the right to assemble, and the Seventh Amendment, the right to convene a common law grand jury in the United States Constitution. Our rights come from our Creator, God, period. The Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Articles of Confederation, and the Bill of Rights are well-established government limits. The Declaration makes it clear that we are endowed with unalienable rights, that governments derive their powers from the consent of the governed, and that when any government becomes destructive of these ends, life, liberty, and property is the people's right and duty to alter or abolish this government. Public servants take an oath to uphold these foundations, and the aforementioned constitutions remain the legally binding doctrines. I, Amanda Joan Quimper, a woman, putting you on notice to cease and desist within 7 days from receipt of this notice, all forms of industrial, mega site, and/or data center activity in Lorraine County, as these projects violate our unalienable rights and deny the people due process of law under the laws of the United States Constitution. This constitutes a wrong, harm, and trespass against the people. These sites cause noise, stress, and health issues in many areas. Electric bills rose 80% and water bills 75%, and wells ran dry. They pollute air, water, and light, and often pay no taxes for years, leaving the people to foot the bill. I ask and pray that we choose what protects our people, our land, and all wildlife, and our future generations. Thank you for your time and consideration and being held accountable by the people.
I've been a firefighter, paramedic for over 33 years, most of the time here in Warren County. I'm just here to address the coverage for the proposed airport increase and mega site. The NFPA and the FAA have strict guidelines, which the FAA has ultimate say-so on. Once an airport is a controlled space, it will require a 4-minute response time anywhere on the airport property. So that requires a 4-wheel drive vehicle with firefighting capability for an aircraft, called an ARF truck. That requires 4 minutes. No department in the county can meet that 4 minutes to the airport, period. That will require something on site. Presently, Overland Fire covers that, and I presently work at Overland Fire Department. And Chief Hamner said he put a 3-page paper addressing this, as well as the surrounding department chiefs put forth a 5-page response on that as well. What will be done to address this? And with the backlog of up to 4 years for firefighting equipment, doesn't matter the manufacturer, and the increased cost, a starting airport fire rescue truck is $1.5 million. So who's going to cover the cost for all this? Overland Fire can't afford it. South Amherst can't afford that. No city can afford to right now pony up $1.5 million for a truck that they don't know if they will be needing or not needing, and it'll take 4 to 5 years to get it. And how will it be staffed? Who's going to pay for that? Will the Port Authority take over for that? And if so, how will the Port Authority pay for that truck and said staffing? And then if there's the mega site that goes along with said airport extension, how will that get covered? Will the surrounding departments, South Amherst and Oakland, be required to handle that as well without the additional funds to handle that?
The project has turned from an industrial park in a rural setting to a mega site that New Russia Township never envisioned, nor did its neighbors, nor did the fire department, nor did the water company, and on and on. These conversations are starting to occur. 7 fire departments have just met and saying that this doesn't even look like it's feasible to expand the airport like that.
This is about taking precious farmland beyond productive farmland and using that when there's other places that can be used.
I just have like 5 or 6 questions here. I know I'm not going to get an answer because I never get one when I come here, but I would ask if any of these have come up. Abatement, TIF, JED, annexation, or 6119 for anything in the project that's going to be on New Russia Township. The reason I ask that is if you don't have a JED or you don't have annexation, you can't collect income tax in a township. So we talk about revenue, there's no revenue coming. Why I say the TIF for abatement, we talk about not being able to fund our schools. We talk about the property tax. I would challenge all 3 of you commissioners, if any of that conversation comes up, 100% has to go to the schools. And I'm going to go back on TIF, and there's 2 of you here for sure, and there's probably 3. The gentleman that brought TIF to Lorain County was a guy named Sandy Prudoff. Sandy Prudoff was the biggest crook in this county, and abatements and TIF are the biggest crime that goes in this county. That's why we have problems from 30 years ago. Me and Mr. Armbruster had this conversation. We defunded our schools through TIFs and abatements. That can continue to happen because then it comes back to the residents. You just potentially put another levy on the ballot. It's got to stop. But I say this in here, pay attention to these pieces, and anybody out here in the public needs to really pay attention to them, because if you don't take annexation or you don't have a JED, there's $0 in income tax. Everybody knows I come out of construction. That means every construction worker out there doesn't pay no income tax to build it. This is nonsense. This is smoke and screens. Not only the gentleman talked about 67 million, we have to come up with 22 million more from the county. Jeff, I would say, and I thank you for the explanation on the 20 million. I wasn't asking about saying it was spent wrong. What I was saying is I'd like it up on the screen somehow so that we could see what's left in the fund for the jail account. If it can't happen, I understand it. That's what I was asking.
So we asked for public records requests in regards to salaries, payments to the people here in 25, what they're making. Some of it seems very excessive, in my opinion. I would have to believe that there would be a way to save some money by reducing some of these salaries. So I make a comparison, there's over 100 people making over $100,000. Now, is it all warranted? I don't know. I don't know what their jobs are. I don't know what their job skills, their job set. But my point is that we have the sheriff, Jack Hall. He's supposed to be the head of our law enforcement for the county. He's making 105, 108, and yet there's 75 people above him. This is the man who's in charge of it. He's got an assistant who makes significantly more and is collecting a pension from another area. That's why she has a 10% written next to her name. So we have these people run through a job, retire from that job, and then hire them back. So they, I don't know if that means they can contribute twice to their pensions or not.
Yep.
I don't understand this.
Double dipping.
And is this why the county's in financial bind? Things like these kinds of accounting or keeping people for way too long? I thought this was an at-will state. And unless you're protected by a union or something, you could be fired. And if it would help to try to clean house a little bit, get rid of the old people who have been sitting around, nepotism, however you want to describe it, because they continue to take funds. Not trying to alter their lives or anything. I'm trying to make sure that we're fiscally responsible here in our county.
I didn't think the county was in a banking business. I know Avon Lake Regional Water is because we lend money to Lorco and we don't collect. So the $13.5 million that you lent to the Port Authority, do you have a note? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have security? What's the interest rate? You know, $13.5 million, if you had it, you wouldn't have a deficit. So I don't know what the logic was to be a bank. Under Ohio law, governmental agencies can only make certain investments. I don't know how you can get a mortgage. I don't know if it's legal.
And they're trying to put these 5G towers every city and state within 850 feet away in every city and state. This is a kill grid. It makes your cells go retarded. It is on the street lights. We have these street lights down 57 and other places in Lorain County. Each of these street lights have 3 cameras on them. They are giving nosebleeds through houses if you live by one of these. They track and trace your face. This is bio warfare. This is lethal. They're also putting cell towers on water towers. We know from Dr. Emoto's work that the cell towers affect your molecular structure and how water changes in the molecular structure of just a word. This 5G towers allow, with the nanotechnology that they're spraying in our air right now through commercial airliners, through chemtrail spraying. This spraying is nanotechnologies. It's made by DARPA. It's called Smart Dust. It's also put in our vaccines. It's called Lucifer Ease in our vaccine. They're putting this in our foods and Coca-Cola products, in our toilet paper and paper products. This technology allows, it's called a targeted individual. They can hack into your brain through this 5G and through the nanotechnology in your body. They can put voice to skull technology in your body through these biological amoeba nanotechnology that I'm talking about. These are biobots. They hack the brain. Once they can map your brain, then they can simulate thoughts. They can put voices in your head. They can move your limbs. They can do all kinds of stuff. It's horrible. This is total warfare, bio-warfare on humanity. I encourage you to research the patents on these things. There's patents on the nanotech and the 5G and all this stuff, even the ear pods people are putting in their ear. Yeah, you can find it at awakenandunite.com, 5G Apocalypse by Sasha Stone, geoengineeringwatch.org, and stopthecrime.net if you need more information.
So why I'm up here is because of the data center / mega site thing. Like, how there's multiple places you can build it, like the steel mill, and all those places shut down. Like the mall shut down in a few years, and that could happen to this mega site, and you could, farmland could get way more out of that for more years. Farmland is here for more years. And also, like, it's not good for the world. And, these kids make posters about saving the world. And this mega site isn't helping the world at all because it's pollution. It's cancer, there's noise pollution, air pollution, lots of pollution that could pollute the world and is very terrible for the world. And when that farmland is gone, it's gone for, you can't get it back. Thank you.
We got a lot of entries this year, so we're proud of our contest, and I'm proud of these winners behind me here. So I'm going to share with you their artwork. Our artist is Samantha. I chose to draw the Lorraine County Lighthouse because it represents Lorraine County, and we love living by the lake. Goldie wants to be a zoologist or an actor. So here is August artwork.
He has sounded forth the trumpet that shall.
Yay! Yeah, more bullshit. Like never ending.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm seeing maybe we should take a couple calls. Let me see if I can set it up real quick. It should only take a second because I know someone said they wanted to call in. So,
Yeah. Okay, there's the phone number. Somebody just put it in the thread. Thank you, missing time. Somebody wants to call in. I do. Collective Awakening 748. Yeah, I wonder why the street lights are taken down yet too. Yeah, so there's some other things. Somebody mentioned what how our representatives are doing. So I put our Congress on notice, our commissioners on notice, the zoning board on notice, the New Russia Township trustees on notice, the EPA on notice. I gave copies to people like Trump and stuff as well, and some more people that I can't think of right now. They do have a bill in Congress. It's called 2289 that they passed for the 5 and 6G towers. That they're trying to allow 5 and 6G towers on any structure that will hold it, including housing developments, anywhere they want. So that is very dangerous, that bill that went through. And then also Congress also just passed, we just found this out recently, which is really not good. They just changed a bill called 96, HB 96. And this bill, for us to do a referendum, which we need to make the people vote on this stuff for this data center stuff, we could force them to do a referendum. Well, they changed the referendum. So if you wanted to have a referendum, they changed it. If it has to do with a mega site or a data center, they changed it from 10% of the voters that voted at the last election to now you would need 35% of the voters. So we just, the congressmen that we had talked to that are supposed to be on our side, all of a sudden just changed this bill, HB 96. So that would make it harder for us to have a referendum to fight back, which is really terrible. Yeah, we got that. But as my person that I'm talking to that's helping me said, it has like no standing. It's not law. It's not the law of the land, basically, and it has no authority. So we got to stand up for our authority, and yeah. So how else do I explain that? They're breaking the public trust. This is harm on the people. It's harm on Americans, and we have to hold them accountable to their harm. They're supposed to be our trustees, supposed to be our public servants. They're supposed to have our best interests at heart, and they're not. Yeah. So obviously in that last video, there's a bunch of corruption going on. They're talking about this Avon Lake area and their water treatment plant, and they're trying to do all kinds of stuff, obviously. I'm not sure a lot about the TIFs, and I don't understand some of the language in there, but I left it in there so that people that do understand this stuff can figure out what's going on and what counties are doing that are not right.
Karen makes a good point. She said the law of the land, it's tribes, clans, galactic star nations, treaties, land is matriarchal. Jason says, what's worse, data centers water or fluoride water? I would say the data centers water, because at least with fluoride you can live. With this data center water, it sounds like it's really bad. It sounds like it's a lot of toxins that could really mess people up really bad. You'd be better off drinking the tap water that you have now, regardless of wherever you are, than some of this data center water. There's some of the chemicals that they mentioned that are in that data center water are no joke. Those are some serious, like really bad chemicals. So we're up against it. Now what I was going to ask you, Amanda, while we're waiting for people to call in, is how can we fight against this? So I'm in Pennsylvania. How can I start fighting against the data centers here? And what about people in Canada and all over the place? What are you guys doing? How are you guys organized? How do you guys organize these hearings? Where you have the ability to fight against it. And why isn't anybody doing that here where I'm at?
Well, they always have to have a hearing for this stuff. So you got to go to your commissioners' meetings and find out what's going on in your county first. Then you'll find out about any hearings that are coming up to bum rush this stuff in. Then you got to go to the hearings and stand up and, do whatever you can. Get flyers, pass them out, start telling people, make sure people show up to these meetings. The Ohio Revised Code, which is our unlawful they call law, but it's really not law. Statutes, codes, orders, mandates are not real law. The law of the land is supposed to be the Constitution. And if it violates that, it's a harm or a trespass, right? So you have to hold them accountable through a declaration in equity or a affidavit or a declaration under common law and under the Constitution. And there's people teaching this stuff that we got to start researching this stuff to learn this stuff. I was advised not to teach the stuff on equity, but that I'm learning is supposedly the way that we're supposed to do these things. So, yeah, I can do my notes. Any more questions?
I don't know. I thought someone was going to call in, but nobody called in, so that's okay. Like, I guess we could just, finish up here. We got another show coming up, so we got to get ready for that. I got to get ready for that too. When is Jermaine coming on? Do we know? Or
I was gonna try to squeeze him in right after this show, but he didn't answer either of my texts. So,
I mean, because we could do it at like 5, from like 5 to 6:30 or something like that. If he'll do it. I don't know.
Let me see if he even responded. Nope. Not here. Nope, he didn't respond to either one. I told him to be ready. Let me try to call him. Okay. Anybody in the chat want to ask a question?
Someone's supposed to be calling in, but they haven't called yet. So I haven't got. Oh, here we go. We got a caller. Here we go. Hello, you're live on the air.
Hi, it's Brooke.
Hey, Brooke, how's it going?
It's going. It's going.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, first of all, I just wanted to commend Amanda and what she's doing, because that takes a lot of intelligence and tenaciousness and courage and obviously, I don't know, I couldn't do it. I wish I could do it for my county, but we don't have data centers here. But the reason I want to try to hone in on just the correct subjects here, and I know this is about energy damage to people, and I could not work in the corporate industry and had fibromyalgia, so I've been going through all this, and it is real. And I've even had experiences last year. It was almost like kind of manufactured. That's a whole other subject, but I felt energy so powerfully that it hurt and burned me, and I know other people couldn't feel it. So it's just, you're not going to care until it happens to you, but the children, they can't speak. I speak for the children in general, hands down. I'm here for the kids. Sometimes I feel like they're trying to give me messages to tell all and stuff or something. But anyway, so.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Were you able to hear that, Amanda, and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a question? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say that we need to be mindful of these. I'm trying to make the connection of these data centers. And, you're saying people's noses are bleeding, and that's horrific. What happened to me, it felt horrific. Like, I wanted to die. I was just like, be done with me. And I'm still in a situation where I'm still in the city. And it's just like, I don't want to be here. So, to bring that there, that's just, it's serious, man. And it's just too bad. It's too bad it hasn't happened to more people, but, no, it really affects people. So I guess it's the main thing I want to say in regards to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's affecting us
And
all.
it's the Body Area Wide Network, Karen Egan. Thank God she's on here. Oh gosh, I feel like I got to do good now. Okay, the Sabrina Wallace material. Okay, everyone says it. Have you seen it? Have you heard it? It's like, well, what is it? It's kind of like the Dam Bases Project, which I'm really wondering. That's a whole different thing. But Sabrina Wallace, she's always very angry, and I get it. I totally have that same energy a lot of the time, man. I'm just fucking pissed and like, why can't everybody see it? But like, she's so in it that she knows all the ins and outs, and she's like a bridge between what we feel is going on, and she's like, yeah, some guy in Florida's got a, remote controlling you with a chip in your brain, which I'm starting to think that's real. And so all that data set, all the technology, all of it. But Sabrina Wallace, the thing of it is, she never really goes into the solution that much, or like anything a kid would even ever want to listen to. But like, just because of her tone, but she's like, we have this thing called a body area wide network that we can, when we enter 0 point, we put a field up around us. It's like, can be quite powerful. And the children, we got indoctrinated out of it. We don't remember ours. We have to remember how to go do it. I have to be out in nature. I can't be on this fucking computer chip. I really need to move, you guys. I hate it, but I really need to go from here. If anyone knows, I do all kinds of stuff. A healing center, that's what I was thinking. I didn't want to be like the problem. I wanted to be the solution. So I'm like, if we have a healing center, a house, I was thinking Arkansas, but there's certain places where certain people should be located, and there's people who can figure that out in my galactic astrology. And then, but if Arkansas was good, Mount Pinnacle, I was just going to go there and be like, yo, I'm up here, Evan. It's a safe house. It's a healing house. I'll be here by myself using yoni pearls and whatnot. But I can't do all that by myself. It's way too much for someone who's getting electrocuted on the grid to go. I can't talk to a council member like you can, Amanda. So we all have different, things that we do. And I don't want to be talking right now because it just happened to me. So I'm still kind of affected by it. I've been traumatized, and I can't stop talking sometimes when things like that happen until I can ground and need a healing center. So there isn't one, so I thought I'd make one. Anybody do? Let me know.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. That and what thanks for, and thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
She makes a lot of good points. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people are up against it. It seems like, it's yeah. Wow. If anybody else wants to call in, you can call in. Yeah.
Jermaine was calling. He said he's ready whenever you are. Another thing is,
do you want to do a new link, or do you want to have them call? You want to just have them call in? I mean, we could just have them. Well, do you want to just do a new link? I guess I can make it. We could get off here and we can make a new link. I can make a new link.
I got it all ready. I'll do it. Try to do it real fast and send you a link.
Yeah, do you have a StreamYard link? Okay, yeah. Okay, well, we'll get off here and we're going to do another link with Jermaine, and that's coming up here shortly, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. All the crazy stuff going on. Somebody else said, I can say that equity jurisdiction can be studied pre-1933. So you want to do equity jurisdiction pre-1933 if you want to study this stuff. And she also said that YouTube was public notice too by doing these YouTube videos and stuff.
Yeah.
They can consider it a waiver of privileges to publicly speak about it. So yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to. You got to be careful what you say publicly. YouTube is also a public record. So okay, are we good?
Yeah, we're good. I guess we'll end out here. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and please share it out. It's very important that we notify people of the things that are going on in our counties and states and stuff. So thank you for being the change, and do it to it. And pray for you all.
Soon with
So
Jermaine.
much love, and start walking in faith. That's all you can do. And God will guide your steps. Just one step at a time. Just follow the first step, and then you'll get the next step. Just trust and walk in faith, and know who's got you. If God be for you, who can be against you, right?
All right. I'm going to hop off, and I'll start getting ready for the next one.
Ending the stream. All right.